The CPU and GPU are the two most important components when it comes to your gaming performance. So if your CPU is bottlenecking your GPU, your FPS will be a mess. That being said, if you want your CPU not to bottleneck your GPU and you want to get a perfectly balanced CPU and GPU combo that will allow you to play with a perfect smooth performance at 1440p, this video is going to be for you. I will show you the best CPU and GPU combos for 1440p resolution for every budget, and also if you do not play at 1440p, some of these combos are also great for 1080p and 4K. So you might as well stay until the end even if you don't play at 1440p. All the links to the CPU and GPU combos will be down below in the video description. With that being said, let's start. With the first one, we have the budget 1440p combo, and here you get the Ryzen 5 5600 alongside the RX 6750 XT. Now, before I get deeper into this, the reason why I went with AMD instead of Nvidia is because the AMD 6750 XT has 12 gigs of VRAM, which is going to be helpful at 1440p right now if you want to play high demanding titles, and also in the future. 8 gigs of VRAM on a graphics card is just not going to be enough in the near future when it comes to 1440p, and even right now some games require more than 8 gigs of VRAM, so I do not recommend you getting a graphics card with that amount of VRAM unless you play the popular easy to run games such as GTA 5, Fortnite and these type of games. Otherwise, go with the 6750 XT, which is going to perform much better than the Nvidia competitor. This CPU and GPU combo will allow you to play at 1440p 67 plus FPS on average on high to ultra settings in very high demanding titles. At 1440p, if you want to play easy to run games such as Valorant and most esports shooters in competitive settings, then you can expect 200 plus FPS on average in these type of games. And then this combo is also perfect for 1080p high FPS, where you will be able to achieve 90 plus FPS on average on the most high demanding titles on high to ultra settings, and even more because the tests that I'm showing here are from the 6700 XT, which is slightly slower than the 6750 XT, so you can expect even higher FPS than the number that I'm saying here. Overall, an amazing combo for under $500, and you make sure that it will work perfectly fine and you will have no stutters when gaming. With the next combo, we have the 1440p high to ultra settings gaming combo with a very smooth experience, and I'm talking about the same Ryzen 5 5600 for the CPU, and then for the graphics card you get the RX 7700 XT, which is an amazing 1440p gaming graphics card. It also has 12 gigs of VRAM, but it's faster than the 6750 XT when it comes to gaming performance, and you can expect over 80 plus FPS on average in high to ultra settings in high demanding titles. And on this test, games like Cyberpunk 2077, Alan Wake 2 and The Last of Us Part 1 were tested, so very high demanding titles. And then you can also use this combo for 1080p high FPS, where the 7700 XT was able to average over 110 FPS when it comes to ultra settings. If you want to play easy to run games, you can expect over 240 plus FPS on average at 1440p competitive settings. But of course, this will depend on the exact game that you're playing and the settings. With the next combo, we have a much faster combo with the Ryzen 5 7600 from the AM5 platform, which is more upgradable over time, because when you get a motherboard for this system, you will not have to upgrade that motherboard if you want to upgrade the CPU to, for example, the fastest CPU in the market, the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, so it makes it more upgradable than going with a Ryzen 5 5600, but it's also more expensive. And then for the graphics card, you get the RX 7900 GRE, which is in my opinion one of the best value graphics cards for 1440p ultra settings. The GRE has 16 gigs of VRAM instead of 12, which makes it also a very capable 4K resolution graphics card, and I wouldn't recommend it for 1080p since I believe it's an overkill. Now for 1440p, you can expect around 108 FPS on average if you do not overclock it, but keep in mind that you can memory overclock this graphics card and make it about 10% faster, and in that case you are going to be getting very similar performance to the RX 7900 XT, which is about $150 more expensive. So honestly, this is a very good value graphics card that will allow you to play any game that you want, 100 plus FPS on average at 1440p high to ultra settings, and if you want to play easy to run titles, you can expect well over 240 plus FPS on average depending on the game and the settings. Now at around this price point, you can also consider the RTX 4070 Super instead of the 7900 XT, which might be a better option for you if you want DLSS to be your upscaler, or if you want want a better level of ray tracing, or maybe you are a content creator and you know that your applications work better with Nvidia. Overall, the 4070 Super has many benefits, but it's not for everyone. If you want the best rise to performance gaming PC in terms of rasterized gaming performance, the 7900G RE is going to be the better option. But if you must have Nvidia, or you like the extra features that you get with the 4070 Super, then that one is going to be the better option, and you are looking to spend around $40 to $50 more when buying the 4070 Super. I go more in detail about the difference between these two in my most recent video about bottlenecks and the difference between AMD and Nvidia. You will have that video in the top right of the screen. And before going into the next one, if you are enjoying this video so far, click the like button and subscribe to the channel. It will help me grow a lot, so if you end up doing that, thank you so much. With the next combo, we have the same Ryzen 5 7600, but this time we get the RTX 4070 Ti Super, which is a 1440p beast, and in my opinion is the best graphics card when it comes to performance at 1440p resolution. Even though the 7900 XT is slightly faster when it comes to rasterized performance, at 1440p the 4070 Ti Super has all the Nvidia features, 16 gigs of VRAM, which was the main complaint for the RTX 4070 Ti non-Super, and you can expect well over 120 FPS on average, high to ultra settings on high demanding titles at 1440p. And if you turn on ray tracing, you can expect 85 plus FPS on average, or even more if you turn on DLSS, which is the upscaler from Nvidia, while the 7900 XT, which is the competitor for the 4070 Ti Super, was able to average 66 FPS. So the Nvidia graphics card is a much better GPU when it comes to ray tracing performance. And if you want to play at 4K resolution, well, the 4070 Ti Super will be able to average over 70 FPS in that resolution, native resolution by the way. So once again, if you turn on the DLSS in high demanding titles, you are looking to achieve 80 to 100 plus FPS on average, depending on the game and depending on the settings. Overall, in my opinion, this is the best combo for right now and for the future when it comes to 1440p, especially if you play high GPU demanding titles. Now, if you want to play high CPU demanding games, then you can get a better combo with the same graphics card, the 4070 Ti Super, but this time you get the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, which is the fastest CPU in the market. And let me tell you something, when it comes to gaming performance in GPU demanding games, for example Cyberpunk 2077, ultra settings, 1440p or 4K resolution, you will not notice a difference between the 7800 XT and the Ryzen 5 7600. But if you want to play CPU demanding titles, for example Fortnite low settings, or you want to play simulators like Flight Simulator or Cities Skylines, then the 7800 X3D is going to give you a faster performance than the 7600. So that's up to you to decide whether you are going to be playing high CPU demanding titles or not, and if you do, then this upgrade makes sense. And then I have a bonus CPU and GPU combo for esports titles, especially with the 7800 X3D, but this time you get the RTX 4070 Super, which is cheaper than the 4070 Ti Super. This combo will allow you to play any game at 1440p high to ultra settings with no issues. You can also use it for 4K resolution, 60 plus FPS on average, or even more if you turn on the upscaler. But most importantly, this is the esports gaming CPU and GPU combo, so if your main games are Fortnite, Valorant, CS2 and games of that nature, this CPU and GPU combo is going to be amazing. But I do recommend you considering the 7900G RE if your favorite game works better with AMD, because I know some of the Call of Duty games work better with AMD, so I recommend you doing your research in your exact favorite games, because those are the games that you are going to be spending the most time with. And yes, you might get a 4070 Super, but if you do not play Fortnite, then you might get better performance with the 7900G RE. And the same way goes that if you buy the 7900G RE, but your favorite games work better with Nvidia, you are losing on performance. So that's something very important that not many people talk about when buying a new graphics card. Now, I guarantee you that every combo here works perfectly fine and the CPUs will not bottleneck any GPU that I mentioned today. However, you have to keep in mind that the bottleneck can come from other components. That being said, if you have a bad power supply, maybe your PC will not even boot, or if your RAM speed is slow, you can get pretty bad stutters and not the performance that you want to. And also, if the case is not big enough, maybe one of these GPUs does not fit in the case that you want. For that reason, I highly recommend you watching my video on the best PC builds for every budget and every resolution. Those are the best PC builds of the month, and you will have that video in the top right of the screen. And also, if you need me to help you out with your exact PC, let's say you want to buy a new system, maybe it's a pre-built PC or a PC build, and you want me to help you out, in the top link in the description, you can ask me for personal PC help and I will take a look at your specific situation, budget and needs. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.